Hello and welcome to Sunrise Cardcast, your one-stop podcast shop for all things hockey cards. My name is Eric Andrews, also known in the hobby as Hammerhawks, and I'm joined by my co-host and fellow hobbyist Aaron Goldstein, better known as Crease Collector. So I know it's been a little while since we've done an episode. It's been like a month, which is kind of hard to believe, but kind of just a combination of schedules not working out, and I know you were out of town one weekend and stuff like that. So yeah, kind of ended up being a little bit longer than we were thinking, but we're back and ready to rock and roll as always. So as is often the case, we'll start off the episode with some mail. So Aaron, I'll turn the floor over to you and you can get us started.
Definitely. It's funny how you mentioned, it's been a while, and I think our show is kind of like punishing us in a way, because I know we're both kind of not really feeling it today. I'm kind of under the weather myself, so and I know Eric, you're not feeling 100%. So, we were just saying before, we kind of almost, punted it, to next time, but we're like, you know what, let's just power through and just do it anyway. So, we appreciate you guys listening in as always, and yeah, let's get this thing started. So, as far as mail days goes, it was only one card for me, but definitely good to start the year in style. I recently picked up a new card of sorts for the collection. Um, if any collector out there has kind of been following the recent President's Choice, set releases, he's released a lot of, kind of jumbo memorabilia cards of late. And, I was talking to him about it and just saying, hey, is there any chance that Enroth would get into, he did like a recent kind of mega patch set. And, to my surprise, he was kind of, getting to work on one. So, which was awesome. And so he didn't, put it live on the site, but made it available to me, which was fantastic. So, yeah, first big card of 2025 is this awesome mega patch from President's Choice. So, yeah, Eric just put it on the screen there. So, pretty awesome. It, as you can see, it has the nice LA Kings kind of emblem patch there. And of course, that is the L from their logo. So pretty big patch there, which is awesome. And yeah, card just looks great. I love how they did these mega patches. I know not everyone, likes it, but I really like the gold there on the sides. It's not foil, but hey, for me, it does the trick. So just, although it is primarily a, massive memorabilia card, I still like the design of it, if that makes any sense. So yeah, card looks great. The design is awesome. The patch kind of speaks for itself. And yeah, I just love everything about it. So that is the 77th one of one in the collection, which is insane, but definitely, happy to grab this one in January. So that was the big one for me.
Awesome. Yeah, it's a beautiful card, really nice design. I think the layout and everything works really nice, having the little photo in the bottom corner. Yeah, it's a very visually appealing card with a really nice and obviously extremely identifiable patch. So, yeah, don't know that there's too much more you could really want in an Enroth card for your collection. So, was definitely glad to hear about that and obviously see it end up in your collection. And 77, that's a big number.
It's crazy. I was looking at that number the other day, and I'm like, man, is there ever a way, I can get to 100? So I was kind of thinking about it. I'm like, well, it's possible, I guess, but maybe we'll start with 80 first, then, see where we get. So anyway, I know you have, a I don't know what it is, but a little show yourself. So I'm gonna pass it off. I kind of wanted to kind of rush through mine because I don't know what it is again, but I know something's big coming. Judging by what you posted on our socials the other day of the Holy Grail kind of goblet there. So I'm really excited to see what's coming next.
Absolutely. So we'll get to my segment. So I actually have two things. So I'll start with kind of the lesser of the two
Oh,
first.
two things. Okay,
Um,
I knew
not
there
that
was a reason that I still wanted to do this show. Wasn't feeling great, but I'm like, you know what? I texted you. I was like, let's power through for the Grail. Like that was one of the reasons. I'm like, nope, I want to see what you got, and I know you're always kind of secretive about it, and it's part of the reason why I'm here. So I'm
cool.
ready.
Awesome. So we'll start with the non-Grail item, but still something that is very cool and significant for my collection. I've actually had this in hand for a decent amount of time now. I'd say probably, I don't know, probably close to a month at this point, honestly. Yeah, we haven't recorded since I've had it. So, um, yeah, obviously, once you guys see it, you'll know exactly what it is. But um, so I'll just throw it up on the screen and kind of in somewhat normal fashion, I'll put it on the screen and then Aaron can kind of share exactly what we're looking at here.
Okay, so no stranger to this. So it's another butt end card, as you can see, which is awesome. And yeah, I shouldn't have been too surprised by this. Glenn Hall, which is fantastic. So yeah, Mr. Goalie himself. That is awesome. Love that. Love the headshot there. I don't know if that's been used on a lot of cards, which is awesome. And then of course you got the butt end card there, which is fantastic. So yeah, that one really does speak for itself. And I think for a lot of people, would be kind of in Grail territory, so to speak. For a lot of collectors. So I'm excited to see what's coming next if this is the first one you show. That is insane.
Yeah, thanks. It's definitely a cool card. Kind of the backstory, if you guys have watched the last few episodes, you might remember the Tony Esposito butt end that I got toward the end of last year, and I got that card. And when it arrived, I was thinking it'd be kind of cool to pair Glenn Hall with the Esposito. So I reached out to Brian and just said, hey, do you have a Glenn Hall butt end that would be available to do a card with? And of course, he said, yeah, like let's do it. So yeah, it's a fairly simple backstory on it, but it's a really cool card. Kind of actually pretty much identical to the Esposito in the sense that the majority of the knob is black tape, and then on the outside is white. So
Oh, that's cool. That's right. Yeah,
I know
I'm looking
you'd
closely
kind
at it
of
now.
yeah, you'd kind of had a theory about that if you want to reshare that with people who might not have heard the last one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not 100% sure, of course, but um, you know, uh, I don't know back then, so don't quote me on it. But there is a rule I know in the NHL today that the knobs of your stick for goalies can't be black, and so it's not called on that much. And so you might even see a black or like a dark tape knob today, in the NHL. But technically, the ruling is for goalies that you have to have white tape up there. And the reason is because if they're doing like, say, the above the goal cam, say there's like a goal mouse scramble and the ref or they're reviewing the play, they don't want the knob of the stick to kind of get confused and act like a puck or something like that. So they just want to make it clear that this butt end of the stick is white. And so yeah, that's the reasoning behind it. I know Enroth was kind of accused of this a couple times, and mid game have had to retape his sticks. And so I'm kind of wondering if with the Esposito, if he got kind of caught with this and was kind of, because if you look at various pictures of him, he does kind of do this. And so, I don't know if it was sort of like, hey, I'm going to do this. I kind of like the black tape. It's kind of something I've always done. But, for the NHL ruling, I'll put some white on there, but, just to kind of appease them. But, really, I just want to tape my stick this way. And, nothing's going to kind of stop me for that. So maybe it's the same way with Glenn Hall. I don't know. But, guys just, they're superstitious in a way. Black tape goes here and it goes up here as well. But, to conform to the rules, all right, I'll put a little bit of white. But, goalies especially, they're very particular. And so I could definitely see a couple of them having a certain way to tape their sticks and putting a layer or two of white just to kind of, appease the NHL. So again, I don't know for sure, but it very well could be the case.
Yeah, that's really cool and definitely would make a lot of sense. So, yeah, but it's a really cool card. And one thing you can't really see super well on the scanned version is just like how old and gnarly the tape is.
Oh yeah,
So it's a very cool card, and obviously you can tell it's a very old
that's
piece of
awesome. It's almost
stick.
like the black, like the ink is like fading through the white, which can happen, especially with so much age. And that's really, really cool. And another thing with Glenn Hall especially is just looking at his history. I mean, he has the record, I believe, for most games played in a row. So just the
Hmm.
fact that his gear himself, and especially sticks, would get beat up so much over a period of time, um, you know, you can only imagine how much games in a row that kind of stick was used. It's just there's so much history unlocked with just vintage memorabilia as a whole, but it goes into a different level when you're talking about goalie memorabilia, especially the vintage type where guys didn't switch out their stuff as much. And especially a guy like Glenn Hall who just played so much. and it's really fascinating. So I love that card. It's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So definitely one I'm happy to have in the collection, and yeah, it definitely does make for a very cool combo with him and Esposito. I know actually, let me see if I can find it real quick. I know I put together a little image of them together. Let's see here. I know I've got it somewhere. Okay, here it is. Let's pull that up real quick here. There we go. So yeah, obviously you can see pretty clearly
Oh
there
yeah, that's cool.
similar type of pieces,
That's
which
cool.
just further adds to it. I mean, it would be really cool regardless of if the knobs were similar or not, but the fact that they are very similar is pretty cool. So
I love how the Esposito is almost like, not quite, but kind of Braden Holtby-esque, where, for those who don't know, well, you can look at pictures, but Braden Holtby was not to that extent as the Espo, but he would put like literally like a whole roll of tape on the butt end of his stick. Like, it was insane how much tape he put on it. So, I mean, kind of vintage style, but you can see how much tape he used compared to, the Hall there. So just different goalies do different things, as do players, and it's always kind of cool to see the differences there. So really cool.
no doubt. So, all right, I won't keep you waiting too much longer here. On to what I'm dubbing as the Grail Mail. Um, I'll start by showing it and then can get into the backstory a little bit. But
Okay.
what you are looking at is, I believe, the 20th jersey for my Derek Whitmore collection. It
Oh
is
wow.
a 2007
Oh, look at that.
08 Rochester Americans
Nice.
jersey.
I love the American jerseys. They're so nice.
Yes, they
They're very
are
nice,
very iconic.
especially the white ones.
Mhm. What's really special about this one, so for context, I have two of his Rochester Americans jerseys in my collection already. They're from the 11-12 season. This one is from 07-08. And what's significant about that is the very start of his professional career.
That's cool.
And this jersey being the first ever jersey that he wore as a pro hockey player.
That's awesome.
So it's really pretty remarkable because it's something that I had always kind of hoped that I might find. Um, the goal for my jersey collection for him is just to have every team that he played for represented. So obviously the Americans were already represented, but in a different way. And obviously, if you guys have been around for any length of time, you might know that his normal jersey number is 21, which is what he wore in 11-12 with the Americans. But when he first signed out of college during the 07-08 season and made his debut, I believe 21 was already taken. So, and this was at the end of the season. So he just kind of got what they had and ended up being 28. And also, what's kind of interesting is this was the first year of the Reebok Edge jerseys. And kind of in that era, teams were known for doing all kinds of piping that they then kind of learned from and went away from in subsequent years. So the Americans were no different. You see, it has the shoulder piping, and then it does have some that kind of went down the chest and the body on the front. So yeah, they didn't keep that style very long, just because it didn't really work as well as their kind of normal, classic, iconic look. Um, so as a result, it's just very difficult to try to find something like this. He only played 8 games during the remainder of that season, and then the Sabres switched affiliates to the Portland Pirates the following season in 08-09. So I'm assuming it's just this one and then the red version of the jersey from that season. And I don't remember if it was this one or if it was the red one. I'm pretty sure it was this one. I saw on Facebook probably like 15 years ago at this point. Somebody who, I don't remember if they were a season ticket holder or something, but as you know, if you guys are familiar with minor league hockey, something that pretty much every team will do is like a jersey off their backs game for the last regular season home game. So the Americans were no different that season. They did the same thing. So this jersey was given away to a fan at that game. And So, you know,
That's cool.
I knew
I
it was
always love those nights, and
yeah,
usually they get capped. I mean, if you were given a jersey
correct.
like that, I mean, like 90% of those I would say are probably kept. I mean, just a great moment. I mean, it would make sense to keep them. And so to see these kinds of jerseys reappear all these years later is just, from that sort of, I guess, promotion, if you will, is super cool. Yeah, the jersey off the back nights are just amazing.
Correct. Yeah. So, um, yeah, so that's what this jersey would have been, is it would have been given away on that final home game of the season, to the lucky person who got chosen. And, so I knew it was out there, but never, you know, I think I asked the person at the time and they said like, no, like I'm a big Americans fan. Like I want to keep it. And like you said, that's very often the case. There are typically, minor league teams have just a die-hard segment of their fan base,
They do. They
typically the
do.
season ticket holders
Oh, yeah.
who are just, live and die with their team and
Hmm.
have huge collections of memorabilia and jerseys and stuff like that. So, this was no different. So I was like, okay, at least, I know it's out there, whatever. Probably will never see it again, but whatever. And I don't think I've ever seen the red one. So I don't know what happened with the red one, but, um, yeah, and I remember, when he signed, I remember listening to this game, his first game on the radio. So like I remember when it happened and stuff. So just really cool. But the backstory behind how I now have it is, I was just kind of, it wasn't on my radar at all, and then out of nowhere I get a message on Facebook, and this guy, uh, reached out and just said, "Hey, do you collect Derek Whitmore?"
Hmm.
I said,
I love that.
"I do." He said, "Okay, like I have a game worn jersey that I'm considering letting go. Like, would you be interested?"
That's
And
interesting.
I mean, I'll take a look. Like, I'm kind of picky with
Depends
what
what
I
it is, exactly.
right. Like, I'm kind of picky with what I pick up at this
Yeah.
point. I just want to have every team represented. So if I already have one from the team, then But if it's something I don't have, or if it's something that, is more unique or
Or like an
significant,
alternate or
yeah,
something, or yeah. So what was your reaction when he first showed you the pictures?
yeah. So I believe he first just said, "Okay, it's a
Oh, like
Rochester."
Americans, and you're like, "Eh," and then he showed you pictures, you're like, "Wait, that's different."
Yeah, so
Right.
pretty much exactly that. He said, "Yep, it's a Rochester jersey," and I said, "Okay, I already have two, but like I'll take a look." Like, sure. And then he just sent me the picture, and my jaw just hit the floor. Like, there it is. Like, that's the jersey I've been looking for years and years and years and years and years. Um, so yeah, I mean, it really is
That's
like
awesome.
one of those things where it's like I didn't think this would ever happen, let alone, you kind of envision these big type of pieces that you're having to go out and track them down and convince people to let it go and all that. Whereas this was the complete opposite, not on my radar at all, and it just fell into my lap. Like, this
That's
guy just
great.
said, "Hey, you want this?" And I
I
was
love when
like,
that happens.
yes, I do."
I wonder how he or like maybe you can go back and ask now. Just kind of seeing like, hey, like how'd you find out that I'm the guy? Like I don't know if you've had that conversation
Yeah,
yet, or
we did.
it's always weird how that happens. I'm always curious of like, hey, how'd you find me? Or how'd you find this website
Hmm.
page? Or like, you know?
Yep, that's a good question. So I forget what Facebook group it was, but I guess he had been searching on some group. It must have been a Game Worn Jersey group or something. Um, Basically, kind of the backstory to how he got the jersey, because he's not the original owner of it. He had recently purchased a pretty big lot of Rochester Americans jerseys off of a fan. I think he might have said this person was the team photographer for a little while or something. Um, but he bought this huge lot of Americans game worn jerseys off of this, Americans fan photographer person,
That's cool.
pretty recently. I guess that person just decided to move on from their collection, and this guy bought up all the stuff. And so, yeah, the person that he bought it from was the original owner that got the jersey in that, the shirt off our back game. And yeah, so he was on this this Facebook page, and I guess was just kind of going through the collection of jerseys that he had gotten, seeing if there were people who collected certain players. So I guess he just searched in the group Derek Whitmore and came across a post that I had made in the group like years ago or
That's
something, or
neat.
like a year ago or something. Um, and so that's how he figured out and just said, "Hey, I might as well reach out to this guy and see if he's interested." So yeah, and he was great to work with. I know I asked you because he had thrown your name out there as somebody that he had dealt with. So um, yeah, I know I reached out to you and be like, "Hey, have you ever dealt with this
Oh, it
guy?"
was for that. Oh, that's cool. Okay,
That's
yeah.
yes,
I know you're
that's what it
talking about.
was.
Yeah, he's a
I
good
know.
guy.
Yeah,
That's great.
and
Okay,
he was super super easy to deal with.
that's great.
Really really good guy. Yeah, and I know you've gotten some Enroth stuff off of him in the
Yep,
past.
yep.
So uh, yeah, just really cool. And I know when we were kind of first talking about it, Americans jerseys are kind of interesting because since it's such a historic franchise and such an iconic jersey, their stuff tends to sell very strong compared to other AHL teams and stuff
That would
like
make
that.
sense. Like a Leafs
Um,
jersey or something, like a Marlies one, because it's
right.
so very Leafish.
hmm
That makes sense.
Yep. So it's always a pretty strong market. So I was a little nervous to be like what's the damage going to be on this? And then kind of as I was saying earlier, this specific style of jersey just is not very easy to find. So, if you are an American diehard collector, you might not have one of these because I think they only use this style for a year or two before they kind of went back to their more recognizable, cleaner design. So kind of all those, and then of course he knew the provenance of it and the backstory that it was his first uh, professional jersey and everything. So it was kind of like, okay, like what are we feeling comfortable with? And he said that somebody else was interested in it. So then you're kind of like doing that dance. And I just said like, hey, like here's the backstory, like he's a friend of mine, like I have all these jerseys of him, like this would be a good home for it. Like I'm not just going to turn around and sell it or like anything like that. So like send him pictures of my collection and stuff like that, which he thought was really cool and appreciated seeing that. And I guess he mentioned that to the other person who was interested in the jersey as well, and that person was like, hey, like sell it to him, like that's the right home, like don't, like I don't want it, like that's where it needs to go. So yeah, just a really cool story all around how it came to be, and beautiful jersey, and obviously one that is very meaningful to add to my collection for sure.
Do you have any like photo matches yet, or?
I do. Yeah, there are. I know. Let me see if I can find
Because I
one
just quickly
here.
looked it up now. There's not too much of him in a Rochester jersey, but then again, I didn't really look too hard. But
Yeah.
I might have found one here, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I know they are out there. There is one of him wearing this jersey from his debut game. I just have to
Okay.
find it on my computer real quick here. Of course,
I
the
guess, I,
second.
I guess you had it saved from like back in the day, or just recently.
I'm sure I did have it back in the day, but I know I did save it on my computer recently, but of course I can't find it now that I'm trying to find it.
Right.
Um, let me. Yeah, of course.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
I know there is a
I
photo
found
that I'm.
one, but it's like a newer one, so it's not the right one exactly.
Yeah. Let me keep looking. I am 110% sure that I have one. I just got to find it.
I might have found one here actually. Yeah, this looks like an old one. I'll send it to you, and maybe it's the right one. Looks like an older pic. I don't know if it's from that set exactly, but seems like it very well could be. So I'll just throw it in the chat.
Cool.
Maybe that's the one that you were thinking of. Not
Let's
sure
see
though.
here. Um,
It's promising.
it's not the same photo, but it actually is the same jersey.
Mm,
So let me save that real quick. And then let's get it up on the screen here. Stop sharing that one. And we'll bring up that photo. I'm not sure if this is from that same debut game or not. It very well could be. Um, This is what I get for not being overly prepared ahead of time. Okay, here we go. So there's the photo that you found. So yeah, obviously it is the same jersey. You can see the 28 there.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Did he wear a different number when he came back? I think it looked like
he
I
did.
think 21. I think it
He
was
yep,
his next number.
21 was his normal number. So yeah, he had two stints with the Rochester Americans. Like I
Okay.
was saying, when he first signed out of college in 07-08, the Sabres were affiliated with the Amerks. And
Mm-hmm.
then for 08-09, 09-10, and 10-11, they were with the Portland Pirates, which I do have a couple of Pirates jerseys. And then 11-12, they switched back to Rochester, who they have now been with ever since.
Mm-hmm.
But 11-12 was his last season in the Sabres organization. So he did play that full 11-12 season uh, almost entirely with the Americans. That's the season that he did make his NHL debut and played a couple games with the Sabres, but spent the vast majority with the Americans. So he wore 21 with them in 11-12. But yeah, the 28, and that's the only time he's ever worn 28, I believe, is during that very brief stint in 07-08.
That's cool. I love it, and I love finding photo matches and stuff. I'm sure you'll find a couple more, as time goes on, but that's awesome. Love it, and definitely worthy of Grail status. I kind of get what you were saying before, like maybe not to everybody, and I think honestly, like those are the best ones where kind of what you want as a collector, and there's a couple items out there that for whatever reason you can't find, but when you do find it, it's like this is worth more than a Crosby auto or McDavid auto or something like that. Like I would trade those things instantly for something like this. It's one of those weird ones, and that's what makes it cool.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, like for you, if you could find Enroth's first professional jersey from Sweden, or even if it was his first North American jersey,
I saw
um,
one from when he was playing with the a Swedish hockey league back before he came over to North America. I don't know if it was game worn, but I remember seeing like someone on Twitter back in the day posted it, and I could never really find it again. I think I messaged them way back when, but nothing ever happened. But yeah, so definitely, I hear you on that. It's some of these items are kind of rarer than the NHL stuff, just by their nature of being non NHL, or just by the fact that they're given away maybe in a different way. And then the fan who gets the jersey might not normally pick up this stuff, and it just causes them to kind of hold on to it that much longer, sometimes forever. And I think that's cool, and just makes it as a collector point of view, it makes it that much more special when you actually find it, because it's tough.
yes, absolutely. So, uh, yeah, won't ramble on too much more about it. I think that's pretty much all there is to say about it. Obviously, uh, was a thrill to even just like know where it is again, but to have the opportunity to own it and add it to the collection was amazing. So, um, yeah, there have been and will be some other very nice things added to the collection this year, but I don't know. It'll be pretty hard to envision
Once again, your
something.
top 10 is always going to be interesting. I know I'm fast
Yes,
forwarding a year, but it's always fun to see what you come up with or what sort of groupings you end up making. So I think this will be definitely up there. What number? We'll have to see.
yeah. I have a hard time thinking it won't be number one, even if value wise it's value wise it will not
Nostalgia
be.
wise,
Yeah, value wise it will not be number one, but for the significance and the meaning behind it, I would have a hard
definitely.
time thinking that it will not be number one.
We'll
So
have to see.
we shall see. But yeah, obviously a very cool and meaningful piece for my collection that I'm very, very happy to have. So, yeah, obviously very excited to share about that. So
Now we're
that'll
on to
do
some
it
breaks.
for, yeah, that'll do it for the mail portion. Let's get to some cards. Obviously, that's why most of you are here, is to see and hear and learn about cards. So we'll do just that. Thanks to Upper Deck, we got a package recently, including some 24-25 Upper Deck Synergy and 24-25 Black Diamond. So we'll start off with Synergy. Probably a lot of you are aware of this already, but this is the final year of the product, which I'm kind of sad about. I feel like, and we've talked about this before, but I feel like Synergy was just kind of like a misunderstood product out of the gate, and people just didn't really get it and didn't gravitate toward it. And I think that reputation kind of rebounded a little bit over the years, but not enough to the point where it really was a super collected product, which is really too bad because a lot of the cards in the product are really nice cards.
They are nice. Or the
And
fact that it's acetate, like the market got too kind of crowded with acetate that I don't know, I guess it just kind of lost in the thick of everything else, I guess. So maybe that was it. Who knows?
yeah, I think there's a few reasons. Um, yeah, like I said, like the cards look great, especially kind of the base cards and the base parallels. You guys have heard us talk about the true base cards, which are serial numbered very scarcely, and I think those are some of the most underrated and underappreciated cards in the hobby every year. Um, so maybe if you are a player collector or a team collector or something, and it might not be a bad idea to go out and grab one of those, just because they are beautiful cards. So uh, yeah, sad, but to an extent also understandable why this is probably the end of synergy for good. So we'll see. Maybe down the road it makes a return, but at least for now, this will be the last release of the product. So we'll dive on in and see what we can get. It's obviously 3 cards per pack, 8 packs per box, which I think has been the configuration for at the very least quite a while. I'm not sure if it's always been off the top of my head, but yeah, we'll jump right on in here. First off, we have a red base parallel, just a standard one, not the bounty, for the Seattle Kraken of Vince Dunn. So obviously the rainbow foil
Like the
board
shine. Yeah. Looks good.
combined with the acetate is always really cool. And any team that has red, as part of their color palette, obviously also makes for a very visually appealing card. So the Kraken, being no exception, even though it is a very minimal amount of red in their branding, it is still one of their colors. So it's always kind of a nice bonus when you get a player on a team who does have red. Just kind of an extra little fun bonus there. So next up, we have a Colorways, which is a new insert for this year. This is a blue parallel numbered 20 out of 99 for the Winnipeg Jets of Josh Morrissey.
That looks cool.
Again, kind of a nice color match there. Really nice looking acetate card on that one. And the final card of the pack, we have a Start Your Engines insert of Logan Mailloux for the Montreal Canadiens.
Cool.
Yeah, obviously a fun insert theme there and really cool foil board pattern on that. So yeah, I mean, this is, like I said, kind of one of those products where the cards typically don't hold a ton of value, but they just look awesome. And at the end of the day, as collectors, I think we should probably be more focused on enjoying the cards for what they are as opposed to just fixating on values and stuff. So this is really like the epitome of that concept in the hobby, I would say. So second pack, we have a red parallel for the Winnipeg Jets of Kyle Connor.
Again, very nice. A lot of Jets here.
Yeah, 2 of the 4 cards so far. Next up, we have, I know this is one of the new inserts this year that people have really enjoyed, from the NHL Impressions insert for the Minnesota Wild of Liam Ogren. And what's kind of interesting is they almost have like that black diamond,
They
like
do, yeah.
PMG
Yeah.
foil
Like a
look.
mix, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
cool.
they are
Kind of
very
like the
nice.
old Black Diamond, where all the
Yeah,
base cards were kind of, had that kind of look to it, that kind of metallic-y kind of look to it. Really cool.
yeah. So really nicely done cards. I know those have been pretty well received by people.
Nice.
And next up, another really nice looking card that's a new insert this year, a Generators of Roman Yossi.
That's a funky looking card. Very cool.
Yeah.
And while you're breaking here, I'm going to ask you about the Four Nations. Are you excited for that tournament? Because kind of people are kind of on the
Yeah.
fence about it, like, will it be what they think it's going to be, or who knows?
Yeah, I'm excited to see Jacob Slavin wearing a Team USA jersey.
That'd be cool. Like maybe you'll get some cards. I think there could be some cards coming out of this thing.
Yeah, I could definitely see that for
Which
sure.
will be really interesting, especially as a player collector. More national team stuff would be fantastic.
That's true. So I'm
I think that'd
excited
be
in
really
that
cool.
regard. For the hockey itself,
We'll have to see. We'll have to see, what kind of energy they bring. I mean, I know it's a short tournament, but Canada USA in Montreal, next Saturday. I mean, that's tough to not get excited about that. I mean,
It's true.
it's going to be a very interesting game.
Yeah.
With Canada winning, I don't know how, but they'll figure out a way. I hope.
We'll see. So next pack up, we have a red bounty parallel, a rookie, for the Columbus Blue Jackets of Luca Del Bel Blues. So another red color match there.
A lot of red.
It's cool. Then the hit of the pack, and this might be one of the main hits of the box, is one of the short print rookies, pictured with the Arizona Coyotes, but it's technically a Tampa Bay Lightning card, a red parallel of Connor Geekie.
Nice.
And the
That's
way
cool.
that you can tell the difference on those, so I'll grab the Del Bel Blues again. Most of the rookies just have the traditional card number on the back there, whereas the short print guys, so I know like
Like an SP or something?
so like Celebrini and Michkov and guys like that, they have a different numbering.
Oh, yeah.
So obviously that's RCG for Connor Geekie. So
That's cool. Like a
that's
rookie version.
correct. So that's how they do kind of the debuting players as opposed to the carryovers. So
That's
some
cool.
of those guys are short prints, and that's kind of how they do those. So
Nice.
yeah, I know they've done that at least the last couple years. I know that's how I'm pretty sure that's how Bedard was last year. So yeah, and then the final card of the pack is another Start Your Engines for the St. Louis Blues of Zach Dean. Again, really, really cool foil pattern on those. So let's see, that's 3 packs. Of course, people are always curious about the Cast for Greatness cards in here, which are a metal substrate. There are the throwback cards as well, which you got to keep an eye out for. This looks like we've got a bit of a Legends theme in this pack. We have a red bounty parallel for the New York Rangers of Brian Leach.
Cool.
Another color match on that. That's cool.
Definitely.
We have an NHL Impressions insert for the Detroit Red Wings of Steve Yzerman.
Oh, yeah. A lot of veterans here. That's awesome. A lot of alumni, I should say. That's great. Yeah, that's
cool.
A cool looking card.
Very cool card. We have our first synergistic duos for the New Jersey Devils of Jack Hughes and Brian Halonen. And I have to say, I usually pride myself on knowing prospects pretty well. I don't think I've ever heard of Brian Halonen. So
that's interesting. Yeah. Interesting duo.
Yeah. All right, so that is halfway through our box. This one feels a little bit firmer, so I'm wondering if this is a Cast for Greatness.
Could be. Weren't those EPAC exclusives at one point, like when they first started the product? Maybe not when they first started it, but
let's see. Nope, it's not. So I'm not sure what I was feeling, but we've got a red rookie bounty parallel for the Vancouver Canucks of Arshdeep Bains.
Cool.
The hit of the pack, which is probably one of the hits of the box, is one of the NHL Impressions, and this is a really cool one. It's a green parallel, numbered out of 149 for the Vancouver Canucks of Thatcher Demko.
Oh, nice. That's a nice one. Especially as a goalie guy. That's so cool. It's almost like the old like black diamond, kind of emerald, sort of. Not quite, but very similar.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, this does give a good idea of kind of like that mix between the old black diamond and then like a PMG type of coloration. So really nice card there. And then the final card of the pack is a Rookie Journey draft version out of 499 of Brennan Othman. Again, a nice foil board on that. So again, like I said earlier, even if stuff doesn't have the most value out of this product, every card thus far has just looked really, really nice.
Yeah, they're nice looking cards.
So it definitely is a good way if you want to pick up a cool looking card of one of your favorite players or something like that, such as a card that'll be coming up in a second here, Aaron. First, we have a red parallel of Matt Barzal. But if you want really nice looking cards of players you like, this is a good product to do it. So this will be finding its way to you eventually, Aaron. We have one of the waffle boarded inserts of
cool.
UC Saros.
Oh, nice. Look at that, eh? That's cool. I like that. Yeah, I've seen a couple of them out there, and That's another one that's fantastic. That's a nice one.
Yeah.
I'll take that
And
all day.
the back is pretty fun.
Oh, that's cool. Look at that. That's hilarious.
So that'll get added to your pile
Oh, of
for
course.
sure.
That's fantastic. Thank you.
And we have a number 1 hits for the Toronto Maple Leafs of Austin Matthews.
Oh, that's perfect. Anytime you can hit a Matthews.
Yeah, so that was a fun pack there. 2 packs left. We'll see. Obviously, there are autograph cards in the product. We'll see if we can hit an autograph. I think sometimes those short print rookies take the place of autographs. Not always, but sometimes they do. We have a red parallel of Austin Matthews. So
Nice.
Second straight Matthews.
Always good when you can hit some Matthews. Maybe this is a sign of things to come at the Four Nations.
We shall see.
Could be.
We have a colorways, and this is just a basic version of Scott Niedermayer, and it's cool wearing the red and green Devils jerseys there. Pretty cool throwback image there. And the final card of the pack is a new game insert for the Utah Hockey Club, Mammoth Outlaws, whatever they will end up being, of Logan Cooley.
Nice. Yeah, there'll be something.
And our final pack of the box. Starting off, we have a red bounty rookie for the Vegas Golden Knights of Lucas Cormier. So another nice red color match there. I feel like a lot of them, or most of them, were color matched, which is kind of nice. A colorway base for the Utah Hockey Club of Clayton Keller.
Nice.
And the final card of the box of Synergy is a rookie journey away for the Montreal Canadiens, one of the best rookies of the crop, Lane Hudson.
Oh, here we go. That's all right. Not a bad way to end it off.
Yeah, so definitely some very good names and some really nice cards in there. Yeah, so there's a look at what very well might be the last ever release of Synergy. Like I said, lots of really nice looking cards. So if you guys have a favorite player, go out and pick up some Synergy cards of that guy, because you won't be disappointed when you have the cards in hand, especially given that many of them can be had very, very cheaply. So definitely a product that I recommend in that standpoint. As far as just being able to find some really cool cards for good prices on the secondary market. So pretty cool there. So that's Synergy, and then we will switch on over to 24-25 Black Diamond, which is obviously a pretty big step up quality-wise from Synergy in terms of what you can expect in a box, and obviously the price point reflects that. Yeah, this is also one of the products that I would say is among the nicest looking every year. The designs are just oftentimes very visually appealing and eye-popping, and they oftentimes use a lot of really nice foil and sometimes mix some acetate in there and stuff like that. So it's always a treat to see what will come out of a box of Black Diamond. So let's jump on in here, see what we get. Looks like we've got a few thick cards here. All right, starting off, we have a base card numbered out of 349 for the Winnipeg Jets of Kyle Connor.
All right, more Jets today.
Yeah, getting all the Jets today.
Of course.
Next up, we have, that's a nice name to get, a Rookie Gems autograph. I'm not sure the exact parallel. It's red. So I don't know if they call it red or if they call it ruby. But yeah, Rookie Gems auto numbered 8 out of 10.
Ooh.
For the Columbus Blue Jackets. So Rick, if this is one of your photos, let us know and we'll figure something out. Of Gavin Brindley.
Oh, here we go. Nice.
So that's
hit of the box right there.
Yeah, definitely a solid name there for sure.
That's
He's
great.
A very talented, promising young player for the Blue Jackets. So that's definitely a really nice card there for sure.
That's awesome.
Can't go wrong. Next up, we have a Team Logos Jumbo. Looks like this is a retro patch for the Pittsburgh Penguins of Tom Barrasso.
Oh, nice.
So I know those cards are always cool. Very very popular and heavily collected, even though they are manufactured patches. Team collectors typically enjoy putting those logos together, so that's pretty cool. Next up, we have another pretty short printed card here. Looks like a base Emerald Parallel, number 3 out of 10 for the San Jose Sharks of Shakir Mukhamadullin.
Nice.
Can't go wrong with a low-numbered rookie, so that's cool. Next up, we have a Diamond Mine Relics jersey for the Nashville Predators of Philip Forsberg. Nice card there. Good player, of course. And our exquisite collection hit of the box is a Tandems card numbered out of 99 for the New York Islanders of Bo Horvat and Matt Barzal.
Nice. Those are good-looking cards.
Yeah, the whole thing covered in foil there, so very
I
nice.
like it.
Very nice looking card. So, yeah, not a bad box. Obviously, that Brindley is a pretty solid card.
Can't go wrong with something out of 10.
Yeah, good
That's
name.
great.
Good name, rookie auto out of 10. Can't go wrong. So.
Haven't seen any of those on eBay or anything, so that's fantastic.
Cool. So, yep, that'll pretty much do it for Black Diamond. Like I said, a product that always brings it as far as the designs and the foils and all of that. The cards just look very, very nice and usually pop pretty well. So, yeah, as always, we appreciate Upper Deck partnering with us to give you guys a little bit of an inside look at some of the products, and appreciate that as always. And yeah, I feel like that's pretty much all I have on my end for this episode. I don't know if there's anything else you want to add, Aaron?
No, nothing for me. I mean, I think it was a pretty solid episode. Good to be back, and we appreciate everyone listening. We'll be back to full health for next time, we promise.
Yeah, I'm healthy. I'm just really worn out. It's been a long week and
maybe
long
you're getting
weekend.
sick.
So, yeah, hopefully not. We'll see. But yeah, so I guess with that, we'll kind of keep it a little bit shorter of an episode. Normally we go closer to an hour, but we'll cut it off around 48 minutes this time and leave it at that. And I will say that the next episode, whenever it is, will be worth tuning into again. I don't know if I would say necessarily Grail status, but
it's always big with you.
Something that you guys will want to come back for and see for sure. So it's a card that I've had for probably like a week and a half or 2 weeks at this point. So I definitely could have included it today, but figured, no, I don't want to cram all 3 of these things into one episode. They kind of deserve their own attention a little bit more than just cramming them all in at once. So stay tuned for that. It'll definitely be worth your time to come check that episode out, because it is a pretty sweet card that I'm very excited to show off whenever that time comes, probably in a couple weeks. So yeah, stay tuned for that. But we'll cut things off at this point for the episode and keep it short and sweet. So as always, please be sure to follow us on social media. We can be found on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Sunrise Cardcast, and on Twitter at Sunrise CC. Please also be sure to subscribe to the show on your podcast platform of choice to make sure you never miss a future episode. Until next time on Sunrise Cardcast, keep collecting those hockey cards.